Welcome to the SBCA podcast, Component Connection, where we explore the people, ideas, trends, and innovations shaping the structural framing industry. Regardless of how you touch this industry, we're glad you're here. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome. My name is Ashley Baker. I'm the Director of Education for SBCA, and I'll be your host for this episode of Component Connection. I'm joined by Zach Reiss-Davis, who's with Dusty Robotics. And Dusty Robotics will be delivering one of our BCMC education sessions this year on the supplier side. We are thrilled that you are joining us, Zachary.
Thank you so much for having me on today, Ashley. My name is Zach Reiss-Davis. I'm the Senior Director of Marketing here at Dusty Robotics. And I'm really excited to be talking to all of the framers that are part of your association today.
Well, we're really, really glad you're here. Can you tell us a little bit about Dusty Robotics, how long you've been with Dusty Robotics, and how you landed there?
Certainly. Dusty Robotics is a platform for automated construction layout. I've been with them about a year and a half. I've been in construction tech in various forms now for 6-7 years, including 5 years at Procore and a year at Fieldwire.
It's really exciting. So tell us a little bit about Dusty Robotics for, let's say, someone who's maybe never heard of it before.
Of course. So Dusty Robotics takes anything in your digital model and prints it directly on the ground with ink so that your team knows exactly what to build and what to install where on the job site.
Wow. So if I were going to make a simple connection, and I'm going to throw this at you, I know it probably sounds wild, though I wonder if you get this off often, is it somewhat similar to like a Roomba vacuum?
I love that because I certainly have heard that before. And I almost think of it as the opposite. A Roomba is taking random walks around a open floor and cleaning up messes. And we are really, really accurately, really precisely determining what needs to go where on a job site and laying that out on the ground with ink. The similarity is both things are robots that move around a floor, but we are really focused on helping everyone in construction, but especially framers, understand how to bring their project to life through really accurate layout.
That's a great picture that you just painted for everybody listening. So you are putting down something very precise instead of picking it up. Well, let's talk a little bit more about how it works on the job site. So we understand it uses ink. What kind of ink? What's the process look like in general?
It's really easy to use in the field. In the office, your team's going to decide what parts of your model, what parts of your building you want to lay out and how you want them to look. And then in the field, the operator is going to use a laser tracker to set up control and understand how your real world of your building matches to the digital. And then the robot follows that system controlled by an iPad in the operator's hand to lay out everything on the job site with a 16th of an inch accuracy.
Whoa, 16th of an inch accuracy. That's impressive.
And it's what a lot of our customers need, especially if they're working in projects that have that type of demand for accuracy, whether it's a manufacturing site, whether it's a healthcare facility, a data center, but also a lot of our multifamily residential builders really like to be able to rely on that as well.
Yeah, I bet. So does it pull information from CAD, BIM? How's it integrated with some of these existing design tools that are out there?
So it pulls information from, at the simplest level, a AutoCAD file or anything else that really has exact dimensions of how your building is laid out and what information is in your digital model. So most of our customers start with an AutoCAD file and map that onto the real world and lay out everything they need to understand from there.
It sounds pretty simple. Is it really that simple? I mean, is this a plug and play, or is there quite a bit of setup maybe that goes into it?
There's a little bit of setup to make sure that you lay out the information that your team really wants to have available in the field. But that's the choices that you get to make in order to decide how I go from traditional layout, which for the framers on this call is usually going to be snaps, chalk lines, and you get straight lines, you get points, you get intersections, but that's With Dusty, you can get anything you really want laid out on the ground, including installation instructions, including both the framing and the drywall and the stud locations and your door swings and your points for the trades that come behind you, whether it's MEP points, fire extinguisher cabinets, installation instructions, you name it, it can all be right there on the floor.
So it's it does it all. I mean, it's giving you everything you could possibly need and more. You can customize it to all of your needs.
Yeah, and that kind of customization of information is one of the big things that our customers love. It's really straightforward to just say, we're going to lay this out 10 times faster than a two-man crew with chalk lines. And that's certainly true. And it's also certainly true that we are way more accurate than that two-man crew with a chalk line. But what you get in addition to that speed and that accuracy is you get all that rich information about how something needs to get installed. So there's no more going back and pulling out an iPad or pulling out a set of blueprints and saying, wait, which way is this door supposed to go? Or wait, how thick is the drywall supposed to be on this wall versus that wall? It's all right there at people's boots.
So you're eliminating a lot of the human error. Of course, it is controlled by a human, but eliminating a lot of that human error and then also adding an exceptional amount of detail that these individuals need to know, where to put things and how to put it together.
Exactly. And in some way, that's a source of human error too, because we have amazing crews that use us every day, and they've been obviously framing out buildings, hanging drywall, installing equipment for decades in many cases, and they know how to do it. But every time you don't have to take off your gloves, look at a set of drawing, reference back to what's going on the iPad or paper plans, and it's just right there in front of you, that's one time you're going to be either moving faster or making fewer mistakes while doing install.
Very, very impressive. So tell me, how long does it take for a crew to learn how to use this robot?
We tell people that we'll come on site for your first implementation for 2 days of training. But most of the time, the first day we're doing training and the second day, people are just doing their production work. Well, we're double checking that everything's moving smoothly.
We've talked about accuracy when it comes to certain projects, right? And the trades that are going to benefit the most from using Dusty maybe right now. Are there some data points that you could maybe provide?
Definitely. In general, our customers have found that for just straightforward framing, one person operating an iPad and controlling Dusty is around 10 times faster than the two-man crew or two-person crew was beforehand, and that they can lay out 10 or 15,000 square feet per day with just that one person operating Dusty. And that really has major impacts on downstream schedule because everyone's going to be actually installing faster and more efficiently later, but you can also just look at it as a direct improvement on how layout's getting done today as well.
10 times faster. That is unbelievable.
We encourage customers to give it a try and take a look. And it's something that I think a lot of people have to see for themselves. And that's really the fun of working on a product like Dusty, is it's very easy to see for yourself. We have a lot of customers who go out there and post photos and video from the job site where they show what they're doing. And we really love going to events like this one where we get to really show people how it works in the real world.
Well, what a great segue. So let's talk about BCMC. That is the ultimate goal here. So we have you guys coming to BCMC. We are thrilled. I'm so excited to learn more. I'm so excited to see Dusty in action. So at BCMC, as I understand it, there might be some individuals joining your founder and CEO. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to be coming with a customer from the framing industry and really talking about their experiences with Dusty.
That's going to be really invaluable. So let's, again, talk some session specifics. I know we want to pique some interest. Again, we're all excited to have you join us. What can attendees expect to learn or walk away with from your session?
I think the first thing that I want people to think about in this type of session is that automated layout is no longer this, oh, look at the shiny toy on the internet that is a fun thing to look at on YouTube or on LinkedIn, but it's here now. And it's part of how a lot of people's both peers, competitions, and industry as a whole are doing their layout today in order to lay out not just their own scope of work, but also laying out work for other trades that come after them so that they are starting to be seen as not just a framing contractor, but a contractor who's providing a real value add and potentially laying out mechanical points, electrical points, plumbing points, installation fixtures for all of the trades, because framers are almost always the first people, as the audience of this podcast knows, on the job site doing layouts. A lot of our customers are saying it's our opportunity to use that being first, doing the most layout on a job site to bring this innovation to their general contractors and bring this innovation to other trades so that the whole industry starts getting more efficient and more productive.
I'm so glad you said that. The next question I was going to ask is, who is this session best suited for? I mean, obviously framers, are going to benefit, but there are so many others, right? That you just kind of captured so perfectly. It really impacts everybody.
Exactly right. I think at this conference, obviously, there's going to be a lot of framers there, but I speak at a lot of other conferences, at a lot of other events, and we see general contractors, mechanical contractors, electrical contractors all saying, I don't just want layout for my own trade, for my own scope of work, but I want to use this as a tool to coordinate work more efficiently so that everyone comes together and can see not just one trade comes on, does their layout, then does their install, then the next trade, but everyone does a single coordinated multi-trade layout at the same time on the slab up front. So it's really clear on what needs to be done when, and there's almost a physical clash detection on the ground that everyone can look at.
I can imagine there are a lot of people listening thinking, I would really like to make this transition right now. This sounds fantastic. So at the show, I know we've talked a little bit about a live demo. Are we going to get to see Dusty in action?
Definitely. One of the things that I always really like doing at these shows is showing people really the full scope of what's possible. And what I was just describing with multi-trade layouts is a real part of that, where we're going to be both doing our session, but also running demos both at the session itself and then at our booth afterwards, where we show all of the different types of things that people can lay out with Dusty, starting with framing layout, then curved walls, but then also all sorts of points, all sorts of text labels, and even including QR codes and really specific installation instructions.
Oh, that's great. So are you introducing anything new at BCMC this year? Or is this, features, updates? Are we trying to get the word out? What is the goal?
I really want to get the word out of how Dusty Robotics and automated layout is going to improve how everyone in the industry thinks about not just layout, but really the work of collaborating on a job site and the work of saying layout is not just a single checkbox of I have to do this right now and then I move on installation, but it's part of the communication and the collaboration layer between all of the amazing work that designers, BIM managers, VDC managers have done in the office, and then the installation team in the field, so that no information is lost in the translation between those groups.
I have to be honest, Zach, when I first thought about having this conversation with you, I don't really think I thought of the intricacies of this device, right? This robot and everything that it could do and how it impacts really everybody in the process, but it really does. The more you tell me, the more intrigued I am.
Definitely. And that's really the fun part is a lot of the time we see a job site start with just framing layouts. And a framer says, I want this to make my crews more efficient. And then what happens is other trades see it on the job site and say, oh, wow, can you lay out my mechanical points too? Oh, wow, can you lay out installation instructions for the electrical team? Oh, wow, can you mark where all my conduit runs are going to go? And each time someone says that, the layout starts getting more robust and the amount of collaboration and communication that can happen during layout gets strengthened.
That collaboration piece is probably the one that I would say, I didn't anticipate, and I think I definitely should have, but just knowing, how in depth this robot can really go, or, exactly what it can do has the capability of doing is seemingly endless. And that makes it even more exciting. What is your team looking forward to sharing the most at BCMC?
I think the thing I'm looking forward to sharing the most is the way we want to collaborate to drive the industries forward in a time of real change. And there's so many people who are going to this conference who have been doing such amazing work for their companies, for the industry for years, and frankly, in many cases, for decades. And I love the ability to talk to those folks and hear more about the work that they've been doing with their teams in the past and collaborate with them on the ways to improve it and bring the industry along going forward.
That investment in the industry, it helps everybody, doesn't it?
100%.
Well, we are really excited to see what you have to show us and share with us at BCMC. And I know we've got quite a few folks out there who are listening who are equally as excited and intrigued at the thought of, what this thing can do.
I'm excited as well, and I'll be seeing you in Nebraska.
Wonderful. Well, that is a wrap. Thank you, Zach, for joining us today. And thank you all out there for listening to SBCA's podcast, Component Connection. If you enjoyed this episode and found it valuable, please like it and share it with others. Stay up to date and in the know by subscribing to Component Connection on whatever platform you use most.
Thanks for listening to Component Connection, brought to you by SBCA. If there's a topic you'd like us to explore in a future episode, email us at podcast@sbcacomponents.com.